A Look at Finance is underwritten by Janney Montgomery Scott, trusted advisors for generations.
I love Thursdays.
I love Fridays. Thursday's good too, though.
Okay, so maybe they want to know why I love Thursdays.
Tell me why you love Thursday.
I love Thursdays because Steve's here, and also I get to learn something. I love it. Why are you so smart?
Lots of practice.
So at any rate, Look at Finance this week. We've got 3 stories I want to cover of local interest. I want to talk about the stock market a bit. Okay. It continues to intrigue me how it's operating, and you as a professional, of course, know it. But let's start off with a couple of local things.
Yeah.
First, Balloon Fest coming to Saratoga. Great for local business.
Yeah.
Great for buyers and sellers.
Yeah. I've always loved hot air balloons. It's always one of those fun things to take the whole family to. And if you ever go there, you see all walks of life. And they're out with the picnic baskets and everything else. So it's this great community event. And to have it here in Saratoga just shows you how much we've grown as a city. The eclectic mix of all the different venues and activities that we have in Saratoga. It's a huge, huge draw. And I'm excited to go. So that'll be June 20th through 22nd.
June 20th through 22nd, coming up in just a couple of weeks. We've been reporting a bit on it in the news, and we'll have some of the organizers on to talk about it in more detail. But you're true, it's the kind of thing that adds more breadth to a community, which makes it a community that you'd like to live in and do business in, right?
Yeah, well, when we look at the markets and the economy and everything else, small business is the lifeblood.
I know.
People always say, well, what's the Dow doing, or what's GE or Microsoft? But how are the small businesses doing in Warren County, Washington County?
Yeah.
What are they doing around locally? Because that's what makes these bigger stories more applicable.
And I know that influences a lot of the things that you talk to your clients about in terms of developing their own portfolios and developing their plans.
Sure.
This is not the best segue in the world, but because you were talking about small business.
Yeah.
But I noticed today, coming back up Route 50, signs everywhere in Ballston Spa for Walmart.
This is a replay, it feels like, of 10 years ago. Back
That's right.
in 2004, Ballston Spa had this tug of war with Walmart coming in. And, it is a market killer in many respects. A lot of small businesses see something like Walmart coming in across the country, and it makes a town like Ballston Spa nervous.
Right.
Because how do you compete with this juggernaut that's Walmart? And so, I've seen it driving down the street. I've seen signs on people's lawns.
That's right, all over
almost
the
like an
place.
election. So it just shows you how important this is to the area, and it's hotly contested, I think.
Well, and of course there's an employment issue. Walmart creates a lot of jobs when they come into a marketplace. And there is a theory, I don't know if we buy this or not, but that the whole idea, if there is a Walmart, that becomes a destination. And because of a destination, then people will tend to stay in town, maybe get something to eat or shop around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I guess it remains to be seen, but that will have an impact on the economy locally for sure.
One of the things that they're doing a little different to kind of appease or to meet Ballston Spa is reduce the size of it. So these 180,000 square foot super centers, they're talking about reducing it down to about 137,000 square feet. So it'll be a smaller, more dedicated store. But my sensitivity is always the small business owners, because those are the people that I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yes,
so
right, sure.
That's the part that when I'm at the coffee shops or I'm at these different places, and I hear what the small business owner that's been in the area for 20-some years, there's concern there. So that's where this is going to be important to kind of talk it out.
Sure. I mean, we feel it the same way. We do business with small businesses, and we're a small business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I really agree with you. That's a lifeblood.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
You're able to reach out and talk to your customers, and the businesses are able to talk to you, and you form that wonderful relationship that really sort of helps the community grow.
That's what makes us vibrant. Absolutely.
I know,
That's what I loved about moving to Saratoga, is all the eclectic small businesses. So I'm a big fan.
Hey, I want to talk about the stock market.
Sure.
Hit another high today. Where is this ceiling? Where is it?
I get that a lot. Everybody's saying, where's the top? And I think it's always a precarious position of kind of put yourself in to say, are we at the top? Is this the point where the correction is going to happen? Because I see a lot of analysts on the markets on television come out and say, we're at the top, or is this the top? And I think maybe that's the wrong thing to do. It continues to be, the reason the market's going up is because there are more buyers than sellers.
Right, very fundamental.
It's that simple.
That's right.
But I think the bigger picture is to kind of pull back. And I was talking with Paulo last week, one of your reporters, about, what do you do when you're investing? and the
Right.
stock market. And there's really only one way to do it, and it's to go in with a plan and go in with a purpose and say, I'm investing in the market for retirement, for savings, and for this and that, and to know what the goals and objectives are, instead of going in and trying to beat the market or pick a hot stock and get caught up in the media.
Well, this is something that we talk, Steve and I talk a lot about, is that, you look at this approach, you can be an E-trader, you can be that, and a lot of times it just feels like it's disguised, or maybe not so disguised, gambling. And that's not, I know you don't subscribe to that at all, but as a professional, just the general advice for somebody. They see the stock market moving up, obviously the baseline, and more buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
But is there any just generic, without pinning it down, is there any just general advice?
I get asked that a lot. People say, what's the one stock I should buy? What's the silver bullet that I'm going to make a ton of money on? And I just go back to this. You have to have a plan and a purpose. And I think when people describe the stock market as gambling, I think if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have advice and you don't come in ready and prepared and you kind of wing it, I think it does become a lot of risk because you don't understand what you're doing. You don't maybe understand all the nuances to it. So it goes back to diversification, allocation, having good sound advice, trusted advisors. It's like going to do your taxes. Some people may be inclined to get a tax software and do it themselves, but they've got to do their homework to make sure they don't get in trouble. And I think with investing, it's the same thing.
Right.
There are lots of tools out there. But you can't just go into it because you saw something in a magazine or television or radio and just throw a bunch of money in, because then that's a lot of risk you're taking.
I have the opportunity to work with Steve, and I hear this when we even talk about our own portfolio. It's the same thing in we were talking about relationships with small businesses. It's really the truth. I have an area of expertise with a television station, and people will rely on me to do things. Now they can do them themselves, but the conversation is the important thing.
Yes.
Because you're dispensing some area of expertise that fits for that person.
Yeah.
And I see you do it all the time. I really commend you on it because the career you chose is not an easy career.
Yours isn't easy. It's something you got to love. It's like what you do. You do it because you love it. There are good days and bad days, but I think there's a tremendous responsibility that people in my field
you really feel that. I know that.
carry. There's all the political instability that we've got in the world with Ukraine and with China and all the stuff that's going on. The economy sending mixed signals. I think there's a lot of weight and responsibility that we carry to try to make sure that we understand what the goal is, that we keep people on track, and we try to control risks and volatility as much as we can. But I think it's incredibly difficult to do, and even when the market's at all-time high, I think people become a little complacent. And that's the time to be cautious.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about entering on a high. I got to talk about something that I know you and I both love.
What's that?
We just did an interview yesterday with the executive director for the Saratoga Arts Fest.
Oh yeah,
That's next week.
I go there every year. Absolutely.
I know you do.
Yeah.
And you talk about stimulating small business, the community interacting, the power and the effect that the arts have.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
absolutely.
next week, as you know, is the Saratoga Arts Fest, and that's 4 days of just music and art and painting and performance, stirring downtown commerce to the max.
You can't not see it. If you walk through those sections and you see all the small business owners and you see the value that they add, art is an investment.
That's right. That's a great way to look at it.
I have a lot of clients that are artists, and they've talked to me about how their paintings have gone up in value, and you see Sotheby's and some of the auction places that the art prices are going up and up and up. So they are a wonderful, vibrant business, and they do support the economy, and they do bring in tourism, and they do add all sorts of value. So we've talked about the arts and SPAC and New York City Ballet and all the different things that come to this area. We wouldn't be Saratoga without these different elements. So yeah, huge supporter, and if you're there, you definitely got to go and check it out because it's a lot of fun.
Well, Steve won't tell you, but he's been asked to give a talk, and that's all I'm going to say about it this week. But next week, I'm going to tell you more about it. Steve, this is an honor.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah,
okay, so I'm really interested in seeing what you're actually going to say during this televised thing you're about to walk into.
It's a great feeling to, we've talked, about starting years ago doing this, and having an idea and having a vision and saying, how can we talk about these things in a way that the average American out there who's struggling to pay their bills, struggling to know how to do these things, how can we meet them where they are? Take Wall Street, bring it down to Main Street. And you know, this is how we've started organically doing it here at Look TV, a small business venture, and it's a lot of fun. We talk about this next week, doing something on a national level, doing it something with an international company that's world-renowned, and it's a really nice little knock.
Hats off to you. So do you think they're going to give us a little footage from this video exercise
You know,
that maybe we can run on Look TV?
We got to do it. We got to do it because
Okay.
I think it'd be great to just look.
I'm
back
holding
and
you
see.
to that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so are the viewers. all
Absolutely,
right?
Jesse.
Okay.
Always.
Well, it's great to see
Pleasure.
you, Steve.
Thanks so much.
See this interview again? You can head to our website, looktvonline.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back with a recap of today's top stories and a final check on weather. But first, here's a look at events happening in your neighborhood.